Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, we all love that gorgeous sort of vintagey look, those older looking papers. They are fantastic, fantastic backgrounds, and I want to show you the quickest, easiest way to create these. Now, I made a similar one as well, and I'm going to take this one in a different direction. So here are some hints and tips for creating this so easily. So hint number one is start off with a one ink color. We only need one ink color, a brown ink. These are the couple that I have. I have the Gina K Warm Cocoa, and I also have the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. Just for today's one, I'm going to use the Warm Cocoa one. It's just nice and easy. I've got it on a non-stick mat or a non-porous mat, and I'm just popping it down with a little bit of water. Tip number two is starting with the vanilla malt cardstock or a vanilla cardstock. This might be leftover from folders, cheap and cheerful ones that you can pick up secondhand really easily in secondhand shops. I often see them. This one in particular is the Lawn Fawn Vanilla Malt Cardstock. It's definitely not impossible to achieve with white cardstock. I just find it takes a little more work. This one just makes it go so much smoother. So just one piece of cardstock and one color of ink. So if you want to, you can re-dip again. You can kind of smoosh it all down again. I tend to dry in between the layers, and I dry about 3/4 or so, give or take. Doesn't have to be perfect. Of course, you could just put it aside for a few minutes as well. I chose to do a second smooshing on this one, and then once this layer is pretty much dry, I mean, if you're happy with the first layer, stop at the first layer. If you'd like a bit more, then add another layer. Then what you need to do, see all those little gorgeous dots there down on the background on the non-porous surface? You can just dip these in again, tap them, and get those little dots and splotches. Now this non-porous surface is the scrapbook.com silicone mat. It is 24 by 18 inches, so it is big, and it protects my work surface as well as being that surface I need to create these. Now, as I said, I'm going to go in a few different directions with these, and so this time today we are going to add a little bit more to the background. Now find a couple of bottles, little bottles, glasses, jugs, vases, anything like that. Add some of the same ink down again. Don't water it down quite as much. And this is where I'm going to put these little, I call them coffee mug stains, I guess. They're just extra detail. And I have a couple of different sizes. This is the Dina Wakley white acrylic paint, it happens to be. And then this one is little glass gems in here. Just any different size containers that have that nice rim on the bottom of them, and then this way you just get a little bit extra in the background. I love how simple this is. Now from here you can make this as simple or as complex as you want to. I happen to have some script text here. This is the handwritten one from Simon Hurley. I'm going to add, I could do it in the brown, I probably could have, should have. I had the grey ink here from a previous project that I was working on, so I just grabbed that somewhat by mistake, but we put the ink on, and it's just a really nice, just background feature. See, it's quite hard to see, but I know it's there, and you can definitely see it as well. From there, I went through my stash, saw what I could find, and these are a couple that I came up with. So the first one here, this is a tiny stamp set, and this is called Postcard. Obviously, this is little, so this was a very good price point for me. I love the stamp. I've used this in lots of making postcards and stamp videos on my channel before, and I just use the warm cocoa ink, but I stamp off a little bit. The other one that I found in my stash that you could use is called Mini Postmarks, again by Woodware, and I just like that this one had some square and rectangle ones in it just to sort of change it up a little bit. And then if you really wanted to, this one was a bit unnecessary, but this is the old labels stamp set, and I am just going to don't even look at my acrylic block usage here, but there are no rules, and so this is just what I had. Adding texture and creating these beautiful backgrounds, and from here the world is truly your oyster as to what you would like to create. I could go in 50 different directions from here, but I'm going to make a beautiful card today, and I really enjoyed putting this one together. I'm going to do some torn edges on this one, and actually tell you the truth, I ripped this in the wrong direction, but we're just going to go with it because I don't think you would have noticed if I hadn't have told you. So I'm just going to rip all of these, and you can see the way I measure is just by holding it against my card base. There's no really good measuring here, I'm afraid, and so this looks beautiful as is, but if you have it, and hopefully you do because you just made the first brown part, if you have some brown ink, then adding this to the edges is definitely going to, it sort of adds a bit of a border, I guess. Now, this is a bit of a naughty, but again, only you and I are going to know. I'm actually doing this on my card base. You could definitely call it efficient or lazy, either, but I'm just going to go around these edges relatively lightly. I don't know why I pulled the oxide ink, but both of the inks would be absolutely fine. I think it's because I already had the dauber on my ink blender that was the oxide one, but that's okay. Either is fine. You could use the first ink too, and that really sort of finishes the edges nicely with that one. Then I add lots of double-sided tape. This is the Pink and Main tear tape, and I really love this. I actually just purchased another roll. I had been looking for a good strong tape that I could tear. Not that I always want to rip it, but when I want to rip it, I want to rip it. And so I purchased this one, trying it, and I really loved it. I've used the whole roll and I've definitely gone back to purchase some more. We've put this down onto our card base. I love that look already. I truly love it already. This is the Woodlands from Stamperia. This is the die cuts of these. There's a whole collection, obviously. There is gorgeous rub-ons in this set, which I'm very tempted by. There are cutouts. There are paper pads. I will link some of them down below. I've been really enjoying trying out a few different items recently, sort of branching away from not necessarily flowers, but the butterflies and flowers. I feel like I've definitely used that a lot, and so I'm trying to broaden my horizons and try a few other items. So like these gorgeous little mice. I love this because it's got lots of little hedgehogs and birds in there and mice, and I really like that. I do love these gorgeous mushrooms in here, and so I'm just trying lots of different things that could actually work on the front. And at this point I was semi-debating going back and making a set of 4 of these cards, because I had lots of good ideas about how I wanted to use all of these beautiful little things. But that's okay. I'm just going to make the first one first, and then I can always come back and make some more. I love this little tile that says awesome. There are lots of little sayings in there that you could add in. I will warn you that these are going to appear a lot in videos at the moment, because I'm just really enjoying using them, and I want to make sure that if I go ahead and purchase a packet of these, that I use them in the most as many ways as I can possibly think of to use, and I really am enjoying them. So sometimes that just takes the thinking out of it. I've gone ahead and created the background from scratch, which I absolutely love, and then sometimes having sort of pre-made toppers is a great way to finish off the cards, and I'm really enjoying that. Then, of course, this is the all occasions. I grab a little sentiment there that's going to join onto the awesome tile that says you are awesome. You could choose a few different places to put these. And then, of course, I'm going to use some matte medium, some Ranger multi-medium in the matte finish. That's what's inside this glue bottle. And I'm going to add some of this on. It is nice and strong. So this card has a little bit of dimension, but not too much really. I love these gorgeous little mushrooms. I'm really enjoying these, and I'm going to incorporate them into a few cards, layer things up if I want to, and then that little tile in the center that I can shift. Now you could put the UR up above it, you could center it in the middle. There are lots of different places that you could pop this. I feel like with this one you can still see the background enough. It's kind of a beautiful contradiction or contrast between these florals, these light, beautiful florals, and then the sort of old vintage background. I'm really enjoying this combination though. Adding in some little faux black splatter just by using a gel pen. This is the Black Glaze pen, but that is my card for today. I hope you enjoyed this really easy, quick, simple way on how to make this vintagey looking background, and it was so simple. 1 ink and 1 paper, and then add whatever you like. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you in the next video.